and better developed characters. You wouldn't feel that way. And there are certain cheats, and it happens all the time. You know, it happens because of schedules, because of budgets. It happens because an actor came off one movie and didn't have enough time to do enough preparation, so you don't buy his attitudes. There's a lot of different reasons why it happens. When everything is right, in form of preparation, and there's enough time, you won't get that feeling. You know, get on a night shoot, you best sleep during the day, because you have a 5 o'clock call and you're done at 5 a.m. and you need to go to bed. And you just try to stay. I cannot sleep. Some actors can take a nap, but you wake up kind of pruny and your eyes are this way and you're puffy. I could never take a nap. So I try to stay with the material, just look at it, leave it alone, look at it again, leave it alone. Because the odds are if you just stay immersed in the material until it's your turn to be on there and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a problem. But if you just play with it every couple of hours, because there are many times you're on a movie and you sit and do nothing for 4 or 5 hours, and it's a night shoot, and they're having a problem with something, and you've got to stay with it and just relax and stay in your room. I find that going out and socializing and playing, I think Mel Gibson likes to go out and play a lot, and talk to everybody.
All right.
I remember hearing those stories, but I kind of stay in the dressing room and keep my energy all together, because it is grueling doing a night shoot, and it is grueling having 16 and 18-hour days. So just try to contain yourself and stay with the work on an hourly basis, and you'll be fine. Well, you have to network. You have to be able to go. Number one, it's a long answer, because doing the work is what will eventually capture someone's interest in you. So doing the theater, finding the agent, and going to the occasional gathering, party, whatever. If you know someone who's inviting you to a premiere, go and have some fun, chat with some people, keep in contact with the casting people that you know that have hired you. Stay in contact with them. Years ago, I remember getting a Gunsmoke, the last year of Gunsmoke, and I was in heaven. And I gave the casting woman, her name was Pam Pelifroni, I gave her flowers. And I took her to lunch occasionally. And that always works, because people really like that you are really appreciative of the job. So it's a lot easier if someone is giving you a job, continue the relationship. Continue the relationship with people that you like who are producers. But the bottom line is the work. Your work will speak for you. And it's hard to cover all the bases. It's really difficult. And nowadays a lot of it is so much based on the deal and marketing and your foreign worth. And money is so tight right now. They're very, very cautious, more cautious than when I came up. So you just have to keep a really confident level, and when you feel that you're not networking enough and you don't own enough people, go to the work, go to class, do the play, and get someone, create a good acting reel for yourself. And whatever you do, even if you're doing a play, get someone to shoot it with the camera. Create a little reel for yourself, so you can circulate the reel to your agent, have him circulate it to certain casting people. There's a variety of things now, LA Casting, and ways to go on the internet, and use the internet. Put a little movie on the internet that you do. Make a little movie yourself. Not a big movie, just do something very intimate, and put it on there. Just to keep the craft going for yourself. And remember, as I said earlier, it's their mistake. Most of the time it has nothing to do with you.
Correct.
What part of the job brings you the most happiness?
The end.
What do you mean? Like the end of the movie?
Yeah, the end. No, I mean seriously. We beat ourselves up so much, so it's hard to say that you'll do certain scenes and you'll feel great about them at the end of the day. You rarely feel good about yourself. You're always trying to create. You always feel that I should have done this, I should have done that. So you can't really rely on the work of the day. But what feels good is if you feel comfortable with the director and you did a good job. I'll tell you a good story. May rest in peace, Dennis Hopper. We talked about Westerns and all one day. We were shooting from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And I was in a helicopter with Tia Carrera and Joe Pantaleone and Peter Weller and all of us. And he didn't know his lines. And he just kept saying, the assistant director's terrible, the writing is terrible. He'd stand up and just berate everyone, say the director was bad, and the director was Sidney Fury, who did Lady Sings the Blues and the Appaloosa, a great director. And he just never knew his lines, and I had all his cues. So I would say my line, and he'd never come up with his line. And he'd turn to me and make me feel terrible. Well, I went around the back of the chopper, and I broke down and cried. I cried because I just was really in awe of this actor. And I liked him, and he was great. We were talking about all the Westerns he had done earlier, Gunfight at the OK Corral, all this stuff. And then when he came on the set, he turned into Mr. Hyde. And we finally finished the scene, and the director came up to me, and the head of the studio came up to me, and they said, "Thank you so much." And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It was a terrible experience." He says, "But thank you. You're the hero of the day." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, you didn't kill him. You didn't punch him out." And he said, they said you couldn't do that because he was the money. I couldn't do that. He was the star of the show. But the bottom line was that I felt really good about my work, and it wasn't my fault. And I was able to distinguish that between what was really going on the set, which was horrible. It was a horrible day. But at the end of the day, they came to me as a director will come to you, and sometimes they're gracious enough to say, "It's great work today. It's great work." That's really fulfilling. That's very fulfilling when you hear it from the man who's directly responsible for your performance. And I enjoy that a lot. Most of the time, I tell you, until you see the final product, you don't really know. There's very little satisfaction. There really is. And it's just a lot of fun sometimes, but inner satisfaction you don't know until the film works, until you find out when it's all edited, is your performance viable? Is your performance meaningful? You know, I didn't know about this. I didn't think about this till a year later. I never even knew. I thought maybe I overacted. I don't know. You don't know. You just do what feels right at the moment, and then it's up to the gods. Well, I've directed, you know, and I really want to rejuvenate the Western, and I've got a couple of projects there, and I've got projects sort of like LA Confidential, which is a thriller, and I really enjoy, you know, I still love acting. The business is horrible. It's just tough, you know, but I really enjoy it, and I love the collaboration with artists, to sit around and just, you know, chew the fat there and talk about the potential of this movie, and talk with the art director, and talk about costume, and talk about intention. That's all brilliant, what you do in class. It's what'll get you going, and that's what I mean, but it's got to pull you right through. The auditions and the rejections are just nature of the business. And you just let it go, and you move on, you work out, you actually feel good about yourself doing stuff in class. And one of the things about feeling good is doing good work in class, you know, and getting